Hey guys, so today I just wanted to highlight one of my favorite features, if not the favorite feature of Advanced Themer, which is this Superpower CSS. When you enable it, it replaces the CSS editor on Elements with a new editor that is entirely Maxime Begwin's editor. And it is brilliant. There's a lot of features to it. I'm not going to go through every one. I'm just going to go through some of the time-saving shortcuts that I really like. Now, the first one that Maxime added was these brackets up here, which is a little button. Click on that and it gave us this root with the brackets. You can actually do that now with the shortcuts by just typing R tab, and that gives us root, or a capital R tab, and that gives us the same as what this button up here did. So the next one is really cool. Another really cool feature. So I've created a test BEM structure here. So I've got a test block here. So I look at my classes, I've got a test block. Under that, I've got a test block header element. I've got a heading element. I've got a body element, a basic text, a footer element, and a button element. Okay, so these are just a BEM structure, very simple BEM structure. If I go back to my test block here and have a look at my CSS, if I hit this button here, now the wording I think probably is a bit wrong. It probably should say element because we're using BEM. It should be an add element selectors. If I click that, I get all of these automatically created for me. So how cool is that? So now I can just put my CSS in there. I'm targeting the header. CSS in here, I'm targeting the heading. We don't have to type all this out. So it's a really simple, quick way of getting all of the elements that you need very quickly. You then also have a beautify CSS button with, if you made a bit of a mess with your tabs and spaces and everything, you just click on that and it'll clean that up for you. And you can collapse this cheat sheet down the bottom, or you can show the cheat sheet down the bottom. That's for your shortcuts. Now I'm going to show you these shortcuts. So the R, if we press the type R and just press the tab key, I get my root keyword. If I use a capital R and press tab, I get the root, and then I get the brackets, and my focus is within those brackets. Now it does say that down the very bottom here, just replacing the lowercase r by uppercase R. You do get the focus and the brackets. So it's a really neat little way of doing it. And that's true for all of the shortcuts. I did find one that's not working properly, but I'll highlight that when I get to it. So let's look at the hover. So if I went capital R H, I get root hover with my brackets. If I go lowercase r h tab, I just get root hover. Okay, now often I'm going to use the capital because that's the most common one I'm going to use. So we got obviously hover before, after focus, first child. So if I do that, RFC, I think that was the one that wasn't working correctly. RFC, that's not working at all. RCF, sorry. RCF, I get my root first child. If I do capital RCF, I don't think that actually works. Yes, it does. So I get my bracket. So it's not that one that's not working. Which one is it? RC, maybe R. So do capital RC even. Yeah, that's the one that doesn't work, Maxime. So if I do lowercase RC even, tab, I just get my selector without the brackets. If I do capital R C F, that works. Also, what was I doing? RC even, sorry. Capital RC even. It doesn't give me the brackets and the focus. So that's the only one that's I found that's not working with the capital R. So the R, capital R, C, and then even didn't give me the bracket. So you can look at that when you get a chance, mate. Now we've got these here. So that was the R T for the nth of type. So if I go capital R T 3, nth of type 3. How cool is that? So once you start getting used to these, real time savers. Now the next one I'm going to look at here is the queries, which is even cooler. If I go Q and then I say 768 pix, tab, I get a media query. Right? If I do a capital Q 768px, I get the media query I get my root and I get my brackets, and my focus is in the middle again. So I'll do that again. So I'll go capital Q, 768px tab, and I've got my whole construct there, and I'm ready to start typing my CSS. There is no min width one, but I often use min width because I want, say for example, I want a selector to only apply above a certain breakpoint. I might change that to min. But how easy is that? You know, RQ 768 pixel, double click on the max and change it to min. Real time saver. All right, so that's that. Now, we've also got this one here, which is the QC. So QC, well, that's the current viewport. If I do a capital QC tab, I get the current viewport with the root selector. So it's on 992. If I go to the portrait, tablet portrait, and do QC, there it is there, 990. Right, if I use Maxim's, which I did in my previous video, click on that again, I get the next size down, which is 768. So this is not a standard bricks thing. This is Maxim's AT feature where you click on it once, you go to the top viewpoint, click on it a second time, you go to the lower viewport. So if I'm on the lower viewport and I do a capital QC, I get my 768 pixel breakpoint there. I'll go again. So if I go down to my mobile and I do a QC, here's my 768 breakpoint. If I go and click on that again, it goes to 479. Go to capital QC tab, and I get my 479. So these are absolutely brilliant time savers. I really, really love the Superpower CSS. The one other thing I'm going to quickly show you in Superpower CSS is the autocomplete. So if I just do an R, a capital R tab on my root, and I want my color to be my primary, bang, look at that. It just auto completes all of that for you, even if it's a variable. So I might go dash color and then do dash primary, enter, there's my primary. Then I come down here, do tab, and I'll put color. Oops. Now this is one that's not working yet. Maxim's working on. It won't auto-complete these. So then I do my var. And that beautifully works. So it's a really neat part of AT. I love all these shortcuts. I love the improvements. Look, I'm not the world's fastest typist. I know some of you guys can type at the speed of light, and maybe this isn't as much of a useful feature for you, but for us slower typists, or touch typists as you like to call them, this is brilliant. This is really a time saver. It takes a little bit to get used to, but not much. And then within a short space of time, you want to do immediate queries, Q, maybe C for your current viewport, okay? And then you can change that anyway. Or you do capital Q, I want this at 478 pixels, tab, and I've got my media query and I start typing. It's really super productive. I love it. Thanks, Maxime. Another wonderful feature. Keep them coming. Thanks, guys, for listening.